He thought it would stay a secret, until I found a receipt for a bottle of champagne and rose petals. We never had a romantic night like that. My hand shook as I checked the date. It was the same night he told me he was working late. That evening, I lit candles and set the same scene at home. When he walked in, he smiled. "What's the occasion?" I handed him the receipt and whispered, "I thought you'd like a repeat." His smile faded, and so did his lies. I never thought I'd be the one writing here. I've read these posts for years, shaking my head, thinking, that'll never be me. But here I am, and honestly, I don't even know where to start. My name's Tyler. I'm 41. I've been with my wife, Marissa, for 13 years. Married for 10. We live just outside Seattle. I work in IT. She's a dental hygienist. We've always had what looked like a solid marriage. People used to say we were goals. We'd laugh about it. Joke around. I thought we were fine. Busy, sure. A little disconnected sometimes. But I figured that's just what happens over time. You work. You pay bills. Life gets in the way. I never thought anything serious was wrong. I was wrong. A few months ago, I started noticing little things. Marissa started dressing up more, even on days she said she was just going to run errands. She bought new perfume, one I'd never smelled on her before. She started going to the gym again, which by itself wasn't weird. She's always cared about staying healthy, but she suddenly got really into it. Like 6 a.m. workouts, new leggings every week, obsessively checking her fitness tracker. I asked once if she wanted us to go together. She brushed it off with a laugh. "You'd slow me down," she said. I laughed too. But inside, something felt off. Then there were the nights she stayed late at work. She'd text me around 6 p.m. saying she had a last-minute walk-in or paperwork to catch up on. It wasn't every week. Maybe once or twice a month at first. Then it became more frequent. I didn't push. I trusted her. At least I wanted to. The real gut punch came one Saturday. I was cleaning out her car because she kept forgetting to do it, and it was bothering me. In the glove compartment, I found a small, crumpled receipt from a boutique hotel downtown. Champagne. Rose petals. Chocolate-covered strawberries. All charged to her card. I stared at it for a long time. I'm not proud to say my hands shook. I just kept rereading it. I flipped it over. The date hit me like a truck. It was the night she told me she had to stay late for an emergency cleaning. I remember because I had made dinner that night. Nothing fancy, just pasta and garlic bread, but I set the table. Lit some candles. Thought maybe we could reconnect a little. She came home tired, barely touched her food, and went straight to bed. I asked how work was. She mumbled, "Long." That was it. Now here I was, holding a receipt for the most romantic night we never had. My stomach turned. I didn't confront her right away. I couldn't. I needed time to think. To be sure. I spent the next 2 days acting normal, watching her move around the house like everything was fine. Inside, I felt like I was falling apart. That Monday, I made a plan. I picked up a bottle of the same champagne from the receipt. Drove to a store across town to find rose petals. Bought the same kind of chocolate strawberries. I waited until she texted that she'd be working late, again on Thursday. Then I set the whole thing up at home. Candles lit. Music low. Rose petals on the bed. Champagne chilling. I wore a dress shirt she used to say looked good on me. When she walked in, she looked surprised. She blinked like she couldn't process what she was seeing. She smiled. "What's the occasion?" I handed her the receipt. She took it. Read it. Didn't say anything for a full minute. I leaned in, real quiet, and said, "I thought you'd like a repeat." Her smile disappeared. So did all her words. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Looked away. That's when I knew. All of it. All the doubt I'd pushed down. The late nights. The sudden gym obsession. The lies. It wasn't in my head. But I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just watched her, waiting to see if she'd come clean. She didn't. She said, "This isn't what it looks like." I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because I couldn't believe she was actually going to try that line. I pointed at the receipt again. "Then what is it?" she said. "Tyler, I swear." And I cut her off. "You don't need to lie. Just tell me the truth." She sat down, looked at the champagne, the candles, the petals. Her eyes started to water. "It was just once," she said. "It didn't mean anything." I didn't believe her. I still don't. Once? Then why the same hotel again 2 weeks later, huh? Yeah. I found more. Once I knew what I was looking for, it wasn't hard. Emails. Hotel rewards points. A second phone, hidden in the bottom drawer of her nightstand. I wasn't snooping. I was confirming. She didn't even try that hard to cover her tracks. The worst part? It was someone I knew. A dentist from her practice. Married, 2 kids. We'd been to dinner with them once. I shook that guy's hand. Talked about football. We even had beers together once at a barbecue. Meanwhile, he was sneaking around with my wife in some cheap hotel room with rose petals and strawberries. You know what I keep thinking about? That night I lit the candles. I tried to recreate something romantic, something I thought was special, only to realize it was never for me. She cheated. Lied. And then tried to pretend it didn't happen. Tried to gaslight me. And me? I stayed calm. Maybe too calm. Now I'm sitting here, typing this out like a madman, trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do next. I haven't told my family. Haven't told her parents. Haven't told anyone except a close friend who told me, "Don't do anything rash." But what even counts as rash anymore? She's still in the house. Sleeping in the guest room. Says she wants to talk it out. Says she's sorry. Says it was a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. A mistake is missing an appointment. This was a choice. Repeated choices. And I don't know if I can forgive that. Not sure what I'm gonna do next. Not sure if I want a divorce. Not sure if I want revenge. Right now, I just want the truth. And some peace. That's it for now. Just needed to get this off my chest. Thanks for reading. If you've been through something like this, how the hell did you move forward? Tyler, so I didn't say much after she dropped the "It was just once" bomb. I just nodded, turned, and walked out of the room. That was 2 weeks ago. We're still living in the same house. Barely speaking. When we do, it's short, cold. Basic stuff like, "There's mail on the table." Or, "Can you move your car?" It's like living with a stranger. A stranger who used to know every part of me. And then, it got worse. I wasn't even trying to find more. I was done digging. Thought I knew enough. Thought I'd just sit with it and decide my next step. But I got a text. From a number I didn't know. It just said, "Check her calendar. It's not over." I froze. No name. No context. Just that. I stared at the screen for a long time. Thought maybe it was spam. Or someone messing with me. But something in my gut told me it was real. So I went upstairs, waited till she was in the shower, and opened her laptop. She hadn't logged out. Out of habit, I clicked her Google Calendar. That's when I saw it. Lunch B. Every other Thursday. Same time. Same place. A little cafe downtown we used to go to when we first started dating. The nostalgia stung like hell. I opened the most recent entry. There was a note in the description box. Same table. That hurt. I closed the laptop before I threw it across the room. I waited. I watched. That Thursday, she left around noon, saying she had a continuing education seminar at the office. I followed her. Don't even feel guilty about it. I parked across the street. Watched her walk in. And 20 minutes later, he walked in too. The dentist. Same smug smile. Same cocky walk. They sat together. Same booth we used to squeeze into when we were broke and stupid and in love. She touched his hand. Laughed at something he said. I couldn't hear it, but I could tell it wasn't just lunch. I took a picture. Just one. For me. For proof. For when I start to gaslight myself again thinking, maybe she was telling the truth. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. Not again. I waited until the next day. She was folding laundry on the bed. I walked in, tossed the photo on top of the socks. She looked at it. Didn't even flinch. You followed me? She asked. You lied, I said. She sat down. Took a deep breath. We've been unhappy for years, Tyler. Oh. So that's the excuse now? I said. No. You were unhappy. I was just dumb. She stood up, defensive. You stopped caring. You haven't touched me in months. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like it was my fault she decided to cheat instead of talk to me. I asked her if she loved him. She didn't answer. That silence said more than words ever could. Later that week, I got another surprise. This one hit even harder. I went to grab something from the garage freezer, meat for dinner, and I saw a box tucked behind some bags of ice. Small, dusty. I don't remember putting it there. I pulled it out. It was an old photo box. Ours. Stuff from when we were dating. Notes. Movie tickets. A couple of goofy Polaroids. But taped to the bottom of the box was something new. A folded letter. Handwritten. Sloppy. Almost rushed. It was from her. To him. I won't write the whole thing here. But the ending still echoes in my head. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending. I see you in my dreams. I hear your voice when I'm lying next to him. I wish we'd met first. My legs gave out. I sat right there on the cold floor of the garage, holding that letter, trying not to throw up. She never wrote me anything like that. Not in 13 years. Not once. It's like I was the rehearsal. The warm-up act. I haven't told her I found the letter. Not yet. I'm not sure why I'm waiting. Maybe I want to see if she'll ever come clean on her own. Maybe I just want to hurt her the way she hurt me, by letting her think things are okay, while the ground's already crumbling beneath her feet. The worst part is I don't hate her. Not like I should. I wish I did. But love doesn't turn off like a switch, no matter how much betrayal you pour on it. And just when I thought I had seen the full picture, another twist. A week later, her sister called me. We've always been close. She said she was worried. Asked if everything was okay. I dodged it, said we were working through things. Then she sighed and said, She's done this before, you know. I paused. What? Before you guys were serious. She said. Back when she was with Nate. She cheated on him too. Told him she needed space, but she was already seeing someone else. I never knew that. Her sister said. I wanted to tell you years ago. But you looked so happy. And she swore she changed. Yeah. Changed for about 10 years, I guess. So here I am. Betrayed. Lied to. Gaslit. And now learning I was just another stop in her pattern. But I'm not leaving yet. Not because I want to stay. But because I want answers. I want to see how far the lies go. How long she thought she could keep this going. And maybe, just maybe, I want to flip the script before I walk out for good. A few days after the phone call with her sister, something shifted in me. It wasn't rage. Not yet. But it wasn't sadness either. It was like I'd hit some kind of emotional numb zone. I was done crying in the garage. Done staring at receipts and letters like they'd give me closure. They wouldn't. I needed to know the why. I needed to see what kind of person I'd really married. So I started documenting. Every message. Every lie. Every timestamp. It wasn't about revenge, at least that's what I told myself. But I wanted leverage. In case I filed. In case this blew up like I feared it might. Then something weird happened. I got a call from the HR rep at my job. They said a woman had called asking for my work schedule. Claimed to be my wife. I asked if they gave her the info. They said no, but they wanted to check in case there was a security concern. That sent me spinning. Why would Marissa be calling my job? She knows my hours. Knows my routine. I work 9 to 5:30 like clockwork. No changes. Unless she thought I was doing what she was doing. Unless she thought I was cheating. The projection made me laugh. Bitter, empty laugh. Later that night, I asked her point blank, "Did you call my work today?" She hesitated, just for a second, and then said, "No." "Why?" I just nodded. I didn't say anything else. But I knew she was lying. Then, just 2 days later, the biggest twist yet, I got a call from an unknown number. I don't usually pick up, but something told me I should. The voice on the other end said, "Is this Tyler?" "Yes," I said cautiously. "This is Megan. I'm Ben's wife." "Ben." "The dentist." My throat tightened. "Okay," I said. "How did you get my number?" "I found your number on his phone," she said. "Buried under a fake contact name. I figured something was going on. Then I found the photos." "Photos?" She didn't say what kind. I didn't ask. She continued, "I thought you should know. It's not just your wife. It's my husband too. I don't know how long it's been going on, but I think it's still happening." I stayed quiet. Then she said something that made my blood freeze. "There's more. I found something else." "What?" I asked. "A pregnancy test. In his gym bag." My mind raced. "Positive?" "Yes," she said. "And it wasn't mine." I couldn't breathe. I told her everything. The hotel receipt. The calendar lunches. The letter. All of it. She cried. I sat there, numb, listening to her fall apart the way I did 2 weeks earlier. And then she said, "I think they're planning to leave us." That part hit me hard. Not because I didn't think it was possible, but because it actually made a sick kind of sense. Marissa had been acting detached lately, like she was floating through the house. I assumed it was guilt. Maybe it was calculation. I hung up with Megan. Sat there on the edge of the couch, staring at the floor. If Marissa was pregnant, and if it wasn't mine, then this wasn't just betrayal. This was a whole new life being built on top of our broken one. So I tested it. The next night I told her, "You know, we haven't been close in a while. I was thinking we should try again." She shifted in her seat. "Tyler, I don't think that's a good idea." "Why not?" I'm not in that headspace." "You mean because you're pregnant?" Dead silence. I looked at her. Her hands clenched the edge of her sweater. Then she said the most chilling thing I've heard in our entire marriage. "Who told you?" I didn't answer. That was all I needed. So now I know. She's pregnant. It's not mine. And she wasn't going to tell me. Maybe she was waiting until she could say it was a surprise and spin some story. Or maybe she was hoping I'd leave and make it easier for her to slide into a new life without explaining anything. But now she knows I know. And the house feels even heavier with all the unspoken things bouncing off the walls. I haven't told Megan yet. I don't know what to say. I don't know what this means for her family. For her kids. But I'm done playing nice. I started talking to a lawyer. Quietly. Privately. I'm not filing yet, but I'm getting everything in order. Assets. Accounts. House title. Paper trail. If she's going to lie her way into a new future, she won't be using my name, my money, or my peace to do it. Still no big blow-up. Not yet. She walks around like everything's fine. Like we're just in a rough patch. But it's coming. I can feel it. And I'm ready. Sort of. It all came to a head on a rainy Sunday afternoon. Seattle rain, the kind that just seeps into everything, even your bones. I was sitting at the kitchen table, quiet, watching the steam rise from my coffee like it had something to say. Marissa walked in with groceries. She was humming. Like she was okay. Like this was normal. I don't know what snapped in me. Maybe it was the way she tossed her keys into the bowl like everything was fine. Maybe it was the ghost of that pregnancy test living in my mind. Or maybe I just hit my limit. You're pregnant, I said plain and flat. She stopped mid-step. Didn't turn around. I stood. And it's not mine. Still nothing. Just her back to me. Silent. Still. Then she slowly turned. Her face didn't show surprise. It showed exhaustion. You weren't supposed to find out like this, she said. I laughed, short and humorless. How was I supposed to find out, Marissa? A baby announcement at brunch? A Father's Day card from someone else's kid? She didn't flinch. I slammed my hand down on the table. Tell me the truth. All of it. Right now. She looked me dead in the eyes. It was never just once. I know, I said. Megan knows too. Her eyes widened at that. You talked to her? I nodded. Then you know everything. No, I said. I know enough. But now I want you to say it. Out loud. She sat down slowly, hands folded. We started the affair 6 months ago. It wasn't supposed to be anything. We were just escaping. Escaping what? I asked, voice rising. Responsibility? Honesty? Me? No, she said. Ourselves. This life. It got stale. Routine. You stopped seeing me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So you found someone who made you feel shiny and new again? Someone who didn't forget to compliment your haircut? And now there's a baby? She nodded. I said, Are you keeping it? Yes. Silence again. And then I said something I didn't even plan. Something that had been buried under all the rage, the doubt, the guilt. I would have given you everything, you know. If you just asked? If you just talked to me. Her eyes welled up. I know. Too late. Just then, her sister showed up, unannounced. She walked into the tail end of the conversation. Looked from Marissa to me. Felt the tension instantly. What's going on? She asked. I said nothing. Marissa said nothing. So I handed her the letter. The one I found in the garage. She read it in silence. Then she looked at Marissa like she'd never seen her before. You wrote this? Marissa nodded, slowly. Her sister's voice broke. You said you'd never do this again. I didn't mean to, Marissa said. It just happened. Her sister turned to me. I'm so sorry, Tyler. I said, Why are you apologizing? You didn't do this. Then came the doorbell. Megan. She'd asked to come by. Said she had something to say. Said she needed closure, too. I opened the door. Let her in. She didn't waste time. She looked at Marissa. You destroyed 2 families. And for what? Excitement? Drama? A cheap thrill? Marissa stayed quiet. For once she had no snark. No defense. Megan pulled out her phone and tossed it on the table. I found the ultrasound picture. Hidden in his email. My heart stopped. Not because of the image, but because of what was written on it. Baby Anderson. Anderson. My last name. I looked at Marissa. Why does it have my name on it? She looked away. Megan's voice was ice. She told him you were separated. That the baby might be yours. She was playing you both. I felt like the room spun. You were going to trap me, I whispered. Marissa stood, tears falling now. I didn't know what to do. I panicked. I thought, maybe if you thought it was yours, you'd stay. Or at least not hate me. Hate you? I said. You didn't just cheat. You didn't just lie. You tried to rewrite my future without my consent. Megan's face was unreadable. You two deserve each other. And with that, she left. Marissa collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Her sister looked at me. Do you want me to stay? I shook my head. I needed space. Air. Quiet. Marissa tried to talk to me that night, but I packed a bag. Told her I'd be at a hotel. She begged. Said she'd fix it. But some things don't get fixed. The next few weeks were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and numbness. I filed for divorce. She didn't fight it. She kept the house. I didn't want it. It reeked of betrayal. We told our families. Hers were shocked. Mine weren't. They'd seen the change in her long before I did. Megan and I kept in touch for a while. Shared information. Venting sessions. But eventually, we stopped. Too much pain between the lines. As for the baby, I don't know. I haven't asked? Don't want to know. It's not mine. And that chapter's closed. Now? I live in a small apartment near the water. Quiet. Simple. Peaceful. Some days I still think about what we were. What we could have been. But most days I don't. I've learned that love isn't about grand gestures. It's about small choices, every single day. And she stopped choosing me long before I noticed. Do I regret loving her? No. But I regret not walking away sooner. I'm not hopeful. Not yet. But I'm not broken either. I'm just healing. One honest day at a time.